What if I told you that the very foods that we celebrate are silently harming us? Nearly half of all adults have hypertension, and they don't even know it. As a wellness advocate and a health coach, I have seen firsthand how our cultural norms are negatively affecting our health choices. I'm Kajal. I'm a diabetic of 30 plus years, and living well has been my whole life. And it's not just through what I've learned from doctors and nurses, etc. Yes, I've got that, but also it's what I've learned along the way. And I'm here to share it with you and break down a lot of these things that are happening to us on an everyday basis we don't know about, we don't understand, it's all too medical. I'm going to make it real simple because I'm your girl next door, I'm your big sister, and I'm here to help you so that you can make healthier choices on a day-to-day basis that don't allow you to go to the hospital and suddenly, something crazy is happening. You can make small changes every day, and when they add up, you are going to be healthy or healthier. Let's get into this video. Hypertension, also known as high blood pressure. Most people have it and they don't even realize they have it. So, what is it? Is that inside the arteries of your heart, there's just more pressure. The blood is being pushed through. Either the arteries have become harder or the radius is become thinner because they've furred up because of what you've been eating, junk food, unhealthy fats, stress, etc. So, the pressure on the inside of the valves is putting pressure on the rest of the body. So it's like it's really sluggish trying to push through to the heart, to the kidneys, to every other part of the body. It's the leading cause of heart disease, stroke, and kidney failure. Globally, 1.28 billion people between the ages of 30 and 79 have high blood pressure, and they are in low to middle income countries. Now, you're probably wondering, what's that? Like, why are you telling me this? We're going to get into that into this video. I am so passionate about this because I feel that, especially in communities of color, those who've come from maybe lower socioeconomic groups, there's a huge flux. Your small mouse going into, is it townhouse, city mouse? Yeah, you're you're going from maybe the village to the big city, or maybe you've left your hometown to go abroad. In that process of growth and success, fortunately, unfortunately, you have more money, you're richer because you have another job, but you are also time poor. So, what are you going to do? You're going to eat junk food, you're going to eat convenience food. We'd be hoping that a lot more convenience foods are healthier, but you also don't know what's in there. There's usually a lot of salt, MSG, preservatives of some sort, something to keep the convenience food convenient and on the shelf. And I always advocate for the grandparent diet. Now, I understand that, and the grandparent diet is eating like our ancestors, as close from the ground as possible, as organic as possible. I understand that you won't have time to be cutting potatoes and fruit and vegetables and things. I'm not saying you don't have time completely, but it's harder, especially when you're in a bigger job, you're in the bigger city. It's more difficult to find local vegetables and fruits. You are in a job that might be needing you at 10 o'clock at night. It is harder. I get it. And that's why I'm so passionate about this because from my experience, I've also lived really like a busy life, and I've gone from small town Lusaka to big town London, big place Dubai, and it's harder to eat healthy in those places. But actually, if you spend the time and you're intentional and you carve, if you have that time scrolling the internet, you can make that time to cut up some fruit. And I guess for me, I didn't have a choice because I'm diabetic, I'm going to have to eat healthy. But I think if everyone lived knowing that every little choice you are making on a day-to-day basis is either positively or negatively affecting you, rather than thinking, I'll be okay for tomorrow. I'll be okay for tomorrow, because it's fine for a day. But then if you keep saying that every day for a month, for a year, for 5 years, 10 years, you are going to cause problems to your body. And so that's why I'm saying, like, little things. If that means not going out and grabbing fried chicken or a burger at lunch because last night you packed a sandwich which took you 10 minutes. Even if it's just a cheese sandwich that's made at home, you know what's been put in there, right? Or if it's cutting up an apple and having it with peanut butter. I think the difficult part is the planning of it. It's like in that moment after your day, you really don't want to be thinking about it because you're so tired. But these are the steps and the little things that I teach you. I'm going to give you some tips now, but also in my coaching, I share this with everyone that it's so easy to put your health first. It doesn't need to take up a lot of time or energy because I'm not for decision fatigue. The last thing you want to do at the end of the day is now think, what am I going to eat? What am I prepping for tomorrow? It's the last thing you want. So in my previous videos, you take a Wednesday, you take a Sunday, you prep your week, prep a couple of days. So you're not thinking, it's just in your fridge, it's in your cupboard, you're ready to go, it's in your bag, it's in your car. Boom, healthy options. So this is why I'm so passionate about, especially in our communities where you've gone from a very simple basic job or a small town and then you've gone into the big city, you've gone to, you're working in Silicon Valley, you're working in Dubai, big tower, doing some big job, and you crave home food, but you can't eat that because it's not available, because it's all convenience. And that convenience food is full of salt. That salt is putting pressure in your body. It's like sugar in the body, but it's the other way, but it's just for salt. Your your whole body on the inside is toxic, and that's why it's causing issues to your kidney, causing issues to your heart, strokes. The pressure of it within your arteries is so high it can cause an aneurysm. There's so many, it's just imagine how I've always explained about honey pushing through your blood vessels. It's the same thing, but with salt. Like it's a really toxic environment. The cells are like, what am I doing here? They can't work well. Now, according to the WHO, the world average that is needed per day is 5 grams. What most people are having these days is 10 grams per day. Now, add that up. That's double what you need. Add that up over years. It's going to have a huge effect on your body. Now, if you're eating all this convenience food, whether it's a burger, whether it's chips, it all adds up. And now, salt is one thing, but then obesity is another. Especially in our communities of color, we celebrate shape. I'm all for shape because that means you're fertile. That means you've got something to grab onto. It's beautiful, shape is beautiful, but as long as that shape is coming from eating healthy fats, eating good foods, lean muscle. Yeah, there may be a little bit of fat here and there. We need the fat, especially women, because that's what's keeping our menstrual cycle in sync. You know, you need shape, but I'm not saying obesity in the sense of being a little bit on the bigger side. I'm saying it's because you've been eating burgers and chips and, all sorts of shawarmas and things. Not that I have anything against shawarmas, but I'm saying on a daily basis, you're not having fruits and vegetables, lean chicken, lean fish, getting the goodness from those foods. That's what I'm saying. Because obesity, coming from eating that junk, etc., is also putting pressure on your body. So you got salt from the inside that's causing all this pressure within your arteries, but also you have a bigger body now to handle. And so there's even more pressure on the body and it's trying to push. So obesity rates are rising, and that's now connected to diabetes as well. So it's just a ticking time bomb when you eat these kinds of foods and you're not exercising and you are on the bigger side. Because again, it's not just also what's on the outside, you're causing pressure on your heart too. Imagine your heart like it's a muscle, right? It's living, breathing. Now it's got a layer of fat. It's not going to work very well. Even the insides of the arteries, they're all flared up. It's not going to work very well. And this is where also it gets mixed up because someone might be skinny and still have that fat around their heart because they're still eating junk. Because they're like, oh, I'm not gaining weight. I'm fine. I'm just going to grab a burger. I'm going to grab another burger. Tomorrow, yeah, you know what? I didn't have time to make my food. I'm just going to grab chips and burger. And that's the thing, because you're not visibly seeing weight on your body, you are not going to know that your heart's not healthy. And therefore, you're not going to know that you have high blood pressure or hypertension. So that's another way in which it can sneak up on you. So whether you're big or small, this is something you still need to check on. But if you happen to be on the larger side, if your BMI is really high, although we need to talk about BMI in another video, but this is what most of the world works with at the moment, although it's not fully true. Again, another video for another day. If you are bigger than what your height allows and it's not muscle and you know your diet is not great, you are putting yourself at risk. Your heart is like fatty, your body is fatty. And again, I'm not against curves. I love curves. But if you have a clean heart, you've been eating well, you've got your vegetables, you know, everything is a balanced diet. Yeah, you might have had a chocolate bar, fine, but everything else in the day has been balanced out. Clean heart, clean lungs, everything is moving, blood is clean, but you happen to be on the bigger side, that's still better than having obesity, eating all this junk, you having a lot of salt, there's a lot of MSG, there's a lot of preservatives. It's all going to add up, and it's a ticking time bomb. So I'm actually giving you what the doctors don't really say much about. And I know it sounds doom and gloom, but it it's so easy to reverse. Like if you're having 10 grams of salt in a day, it's usually hidden salt. It's in those foods, the preservatives, the MSGs, because how else do you preserve something? You put in salt, right? So there's salt in all of these things, and that's what's adding up. So this is why it's really important to not eat too much of these takeouts, etc., and to make the time to be able to eat something that you've made. At least you know what you're putting in your body. And we're going to go through also the types of foods that you can put into your body, because you also might be eating, I'm just saying, noodles, ready-made noodles or crisps. Those also have salt. Even though you're feeding yourself, it's not from a restaurant. That's why we're going to also talk about how to be knowledgeable about what you're putting into your body too. So, actionable tips. Number one, reduce your salt. You'd be like, but I don't add any salt in my meals. Hidden salts, you won't even realize. So, for example, if you make soups at home and you use stock cubes, don't use stock cubes. If you can try and make the flavors from spices and flavored oils, again, healthy oils, even with your vegetables, like use more onions, use more garlic, use more fresh ingredients as opposed to a stock cube. Or if you are not vegetarian, use a bone broth. That's also super healthy. That's a way in which you can reduce the hidden salt. Also, if you're going out to a restaurant and you're having chips with, let's just say, marinated meat of some sort, then there's bread with butter. Why I say also don't have the bread and butter, because number one, bread is carbs and you already have carbs with the chips, etc. But that salt, that butter is also salted. So just I would suggest don't have the bread full stop. Or if you are super hungry and you don't have any carbs in your meal, don't use the salted butter. Ask for balsamic and olive oil. Those are really healthy and natural. If you're having no bread and you're having your marinated meat and some chips, don't have the chips. Ask for a salad, because the chips have hidden salts and you don't even know if they're ready, like fresh potato chips. They might be ready from a packet. That has preservatives at the packing level. So you're putting like salt through so many levels before that gets to you. If you were doing it at home and you're actually cutting the potatoes yourself, it's a real fresh potato, yeah, you can put a little bit of salt on there. Another option would be less salt and then add lemon juice on top once it's cooked. You'll need a bit of salt to cook, but apart from that, there's other ways of reducing the hidden salts. So just bear that in mind with reducing salt, but do one item per day for a week. So if you usually have potato crisps, I suggest just stop the potato crisps and have something instead. Have olives. That's a healthier option to potato crisps. Yes, it's salty, but it's a healthier option because the olives have antioxidants. So it will balance out. But again, if you can, try and reduce that. Don't have like a whole packet of olives. Like have less. Because really, it's your tongue that wants that kind of flavor. And if you can get that flavor from another source, and it's a healthier source, you're not gonna, it's also that kind of idea of pecking something, because maybe you're bored. Have some chewing gum. These are little tips and tricks which I've used in the past. When I'm like peckish for something and I can't have anything because my sugars are high, I will go for chewing gum. So if you really want that salt fix, have olives, have something else, but have less of it. And then have lots of water because also you want to balance out that salt. Number two, check your blood pressure. I know it sounds like, oh my God, like this is it, like, difficult for me to go and do, but just go to your local clinic. They can easily do it for you. Either they don't charge you or it'll be a very low charge. It's that band thing they put here and then it like checks your pressure. If you're able to buy one at the local pharmacy and keep one at home, do that because everyone in the family can then check it out. So that way it's not really a bad expense. It's an investment in not just you and your health, but it's your family's health too. It's so easy. So just get your blood pressure checked. Number three, and this is a given, I talk about this all the time, exercise. Exercise will help in so many ways. Number one, reducing weight, so there's less pressure on your body. But also, when you exercise, you're pushing the blood in a better way. You're burning off any fat. So you're not just burning off fat on your body, it's also within the artery. That good flow of blood, oxygen. It's so good for you. Just 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes after every meal. 10 minutes twice a day, 15 to 30 minutes a day is all you need, honestly. And it also reduces stress. Now, this leads me to the next fourth hack. Let me tell you a story. I remember a friend of mine, he had a mini heart attack. Now, okay, he wasn't eating the healthiest, but it wasn't bad. He wasn't necessarily exercising, but he was active, walking around, etc. What happened was he was very stressed and it ended up hardening the artery. So whether he was eating junk or not, the artery became harder because of stress. Because imagine you're stressed, your whole body's tight like this. So it's also happening down at the cellular level, it's happening at the artery level. It got stiff and it ended up he ended up having a heart attack because mini heart attack because it was one of the very small blood vessels. So it got harder and basically the blood was just struggling to go through because it needs to flow with your blood. And so this is why I say exercise is really important because it de-stresses you as well. It pushes good endorphins out. Your body won't be so tight like this. Everything will start relaxing. It's breathing. So exercise is great twofold because that's where your stress management comes into play. Really, meditation, all of that is all good, but exercise is everything put together. That's meditation in motion. So stress management techniques are really important, but just get that walking or running in. Not even anything high impact because again that might put pressure on your heart. Easy walking, easy jogging. It doesn't have to be so stressful. I've started running recently. I've never been a runner in my whole life, but the reason I do it is for my cardiovascular health, but also because when I run and it's like a free road, it's clear, the Neanderthal part of my brain doesn't see any stresses, and there's a science study about this. You don't see any stresses. My stresses are not necessarily like a lion or tiger coming next to me, but that's the part of the brain, like when you're stressed, it's right here. When you're sitting at your desk and you're doing work, it's right here. But when you're running or when you're walking and there's lots of space, the mind is like, there's nothing near me. So it reduces any sort of fears or stresses or anxieties. So things like that, walking, running, just do something that's easy. Yoga, stretching. It doesn't have to be going to the gym and doing a HIIT workout and a boxing class. And yes, you can do that. But if you are at the stage of um, you're on the bigger side, or you have some heart issues, or your arteries are furring up a little bit, or your blood pressure is a little bit high, don't go and stress it up again. Go and find something that's going to ease you. And once you start building that momentum, then you can start doing more strength training, etc., because that has a longer term effect on your health. But initially, just do something easy and do something consistently because that's really going to help you stress levels and it's going to help with your body's way of keeping the flow of your arteries, the blood in your arteries. And of course, the opposite to everything I've been saying about junk food and convenience food is mindful eating. Now, you might say to me, Kajal, like, I'm in the big city. I wake up at 6, I'm at work at 6:50, and where am I eating in between? And then by 9 o'clock, I'm hungry, so I have a coffee, and then I'll have another coffee, and I'm tired, so I'm gonna have a sugary coffee. But you know what? And then you'll say to me, I finish work at 10 o'clock. Your health is your wealth. It's the first thing that's, if you're not there, you can't get your work done. Your job will replace you in a second. So, if that can be your first priority, that means you get home at 10 o'clock at night. On the way home, you've bought some bread or you've bought something that you can quickly put together. Sandwich, bread, cheese, go. Apple, go. Packet, fridge. Next day, you just take it with you. Make sure you're drinking loads of water because half the time you don't need coffee, you don't need all these things. You actually just need a lot of water. Even when you're tired, water is going to give you all that you need. If you're able to find, again, if you're in the big city and you get all these convenience things, then get the healthy convenient stuff. So there's packets of hydrolytes, there's packets of natural caffeine, guarana. Don't go and buy the Red Bulls. Get these like green powders that have your ashwagandha, um, your chlorella, all the good things that are actually going to naturally keep you awake. If you're going to do a matcha latte, don't get it ready made. Like, keep the little paste ready at home. Do it on a Sunday, have it ready for a couple of days. In the morning, chuck a bit of milk, mix it, you're ready to go. Good. I know it looks good for Instagram. I know you feel like a Kardashian when you have the matcha latte from XYZ. But again, you don't know what's going in there. You're adding extra sugar or honey, etc., when you could just be doing it yourself. I'm not just talking about matcha lattes, I'm talking about salads, foods, anything you're grabbing in convenience. It's so easy to just do it at home, and you're also cutting costs. So it may take you, a lot of people say, oh, but it's going to take me a whole hour to cook, etc. Use your Sunday, 1 hour. I'm not saying use your whole Sunday because you want your Sunday to rest. You might want to veg in front of the TV. You might want to go to church. You might want to go see your family. Either way, if you can take one non-negotiable hour to just prep if that means going to buy bread, that means going to buy fruit, do that, because then as the week progresses and you only have 10 minutes per day to do something, that's when you can put your milk into little containers, cut your apple up into pieces, cut your cucumbers up into pieces, get a ready-made hummus if you really want to. They're not too bad, but like me, sometimes they have flour and sugars go high. If you can blitz your own hummus at home, it's so easy. Put in little containers. All you have to do on a daily basis at 10 o'clock at night or whatever time you come home, grab them, put them in. Because if you're having one meal that you're eating out because you've been at work, so let's just say you're finishing at 10 o'clock at night and you have to have dinner at work in the canteen, at least all the other meals are healthy. Do you see what I'm saying? Even in the mornings, people are, oh no, I don't have time to make eggs and avocado. That's fine. Boil four on a Sunday. You have two on Monday, two on Tuesday. If you can, cut up the avocado, put lemon juice so it doesn't go off, keep in a container so it's just ready to go. So in the mornings you can have that. You're not going for sugary cereal that's going to spike your sugars and then drop you randomly. And then you're going to be like, I'm so tired, I need a sugary coffee. Do you see what I'm saying? It just takes an hour on a Sunday and you can do little things throughout the week, adds up. Then by Wednesday, you'll be like, oh, everything's finished now. Let me quickly try and put something together. Do you see what I'm saying? You would have already been in the momentum. And if you need help with this, you can always message me. Happy to help in any way. That's what I'm here for. So going back to the beginning of this video, I said that especially in our communities where we go from a small town to a bigger town, where that success comes from and it's aspirational to show, hey, look, I'm having a Coca-Cola or whatever it is that is aspirational. Understand that the cost is your health. The convenience is costing you your health. That's the opportunity cost. If you can choose and find a healthier option, fantastic. But a lot of times with even these healthy convenience foods, they're packed with something. That's why they're on the shelf for so long. So if you can try and do what you can at home, please do, because that's what's going to give you that longevity, that health span and lifespan. So let's redefine our success to include our health and well being. These small changes today can lead to a healthier tomorrow for you. And just remember, your culture is your strength, but let it be a path to wellness and not just following what is culturally cool or what everyone's telling you or what you're seeing your friends are doing. Understand that doing things the old way, the slower way, even in doses, makes a huge difference to your health. And just remember, hypertension doesn't discriminate. Awareness empowers. And on that note, I have a free wellness tracker in the description below. It's free. That's the best part. And it helps empower you with doing small little tips and tricks for 21 days because it takes 21 days for a habit to sit in. Some of it's cultural, a lot of it's practical, and it's a good way to start your journey if you're not sure where to start. So click the link below. If you love this video, please share it with someone who may be going through it. I'd love you to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. All right, have a good evening. Bye.